I believe to go after Jesus' mission, there is a prerequisite that Jesus does. What is the prerequisite? Let's look at the guys he was talking to. Did he call them and say, okay, boys, day one, here I've met you. I'm Jesus. Nice to meet you. Your name? Peter. Okay. Nice to meet you, Peter. Your name? Nice to meet you. Okay. Go win the world for me. Did he do that? No, he didn't. But that's what we think we have to do. Now that I'm a Christian, the first thing I need to do is, okay, we're scared of this Great Commission. But what happened? How did it work? Let's look at the prerequisite for the Great Commission. Matthew 4:19-20. This is the beginning of the ministry. What did he say to them? Follow me, or come follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. He did not give them the Great Commission without saying this. If you and I want to change church, and if you and I want to be on the same page of reaching a lost nation with the love and the power of the kingdom, we have to do this first. Because without this, we won't do what he told us to do. This is part one. It's just three things he says in this. What are the three things? First he says, come follow me. He said, you must. You want to do anything in my kingdom? You want to be a Christian? You have to follow me. Secondly, he says, what? I will make you. I'm going to do a work. I'm going to make you. Because you're not made. I am going to make you. I'm going to do a work in you. And then thirdly, he says, we're going fishing. Church, if we are going to make a move, the very first move is what? Come follow me. Are you following Jesus? Come on, think about that. What does that mean to follow Jesus? Are you following Jesus? See, can I tell you, to be called to follow Jesus is such an honor. These 12 disciples, man, they knew the honor of being called by Jesus, chosen by Jesus. The highest honor in the Jewish community in those days was to become a rabbi. The highest honor is to be a teacher. You know, in my day, it was either a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. When we grew, you have to become one of these three things: a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. Those are the jobs. If you get those, you're set for life. And in the community, for these fishermen, the greatest honor was to become a rabbi. And they walked and they strutted along and they looked at them and they were like, whoa, here goes the rabbi. And this is the mindset. These guys who were fishing were obviously guys who lost, who were never good enough to be rabbis. So now listen to me. Now, to these guys who just did menial jobs as it was looked upon, suddenly sees a rabbi coming. Right? Peter heard, and the first time he meets Jesus, Jesus tells him, you're Cephas. And Simon would have been like, yeah, cool, you know my name, okay. He didn't follow Jesus the first time he met Jesus. He went back fishing. But then when Jesus gets on his boat, shows him something that he has never seen before. His boat is filled with fish and Jesus says, come follow me. They just saw the honor of following Jesus. Every single one. Matthew the tax collector, Jesus just goes and says, come follow me. He just closes up his books and says, I'm after you. It was such an honor. Beloved, today to follow Jesus is no honor to us. It means nothing to most of us. It's like, you get my spare change, Jesus. This is why we spent 1 hour in worship saying, give us a revelation. Because until I get a revelation, I cannot honor you the way you're supposed to be honored. We can't give him the honor, but I want you to understand, this rabbi chose ordinary guys, not from rabbi school. He chose ordinary guys. And for them to follow him was an absolute honor. And today, he looks at you and me and says, come follow me, guys. I choose you, I choose you, I choose you and you and you and you and you. But we don't see the honor. But his words, or what were his first words? Come, follow me. Today I've heard people say, Jesus is my co-pilot. He's my business partner. That's rubbish. He has to be chairman. He can't be business partner. He can't be co-pilot. He has to be the captain. He didn't say, come and you and I will try to do things. He said, follow me. Come behind me. Our problem is we are so buddy-buddy. Jesus is like a macha. He's not. He said, you follow me. You come where I'm going. But that's a problem to many of us, isn't it? Why don't we follow him? We don't follow him mainly because he hasn't lived up to our expectations. There was a time when we gave him our all. But we can't give him our all now because he hasn't lived up to our expectations. That's what we have to change first for many of us. Let's change that misconception of he hasn't lived up to my expectations of him. It's a reality because that's how we think, but that's wrong.